And oh, this has definitely been an educational experience. Here's my reading material. I was reading the book, the biography of Yogi. I got to like page 60. I had to give the book back. It was a borrower from the other pyramid that I was staying in. I'm sorry, well, it's called Pyramid Loft place that I was staying in. But this has been my reading material. Yep, the Holy Scriptures, Psalm a day, keeps the negativity in your mind away. I don't read the Bible with the same eyes anymore. The Bible is very poetic. It says some really wise things, and these things are of the ancients. Regardless if we think that people have changed the Bible around or not, when you read it, you're like, wow, I get it. It's very soothing to read for people that are analytical like myself, people that think about their prayer life, and people that need some type of wisdom or words of encouragement. The Bible has the words for you. It has the words for you. So I would say, in reading it, don't look at it like, oh, this is tedious. Read it as if an old wise person, you're sitting at their feet and you're questioning or wondering or pondering or hoping for an answer or just some encouragement, because that's what it does. It gives you some great encouragement. Like, for instance, let me just give you a quick snippet of what I mean. For instance, today is the 21st. It says, you have not withheld the request of his lips. Now before that, it says, O Jehovah, in your strength the king rejoices, talking about Jesus. How greatly he rejoices in your acts of salvation. He rejoices. Sometimes I put how greatly I rejoice in your acts of salvation to make it apply to me. You have granted her, Arlisha, you've granted me the desires of my heart. And you have not withheld the request of his lips, or of her lips, or of my lips. And these are the things that come to pass. Like, when you're praying about something and you're praying to God, and then it happens, and then you read something like that and you're like, yeah, that's happened for me. You haven't denied my request. You've given me what I've asked you for. So that's how I read the Bible. It's like this old person saying, hey, so didn't God do this for you? Didn't he do that for you? He didn't deny you, right? So I read it with a different eye. It says also, for you meet him with rich blessings. For you meet me with rich blessings. So that's how I read the Bible now. I don't read it with, oh, this religious aspect and this religious, oh, I gotta read this or else. I read it for wisdom. I read it for encouragement. And I read it for, sometimes you can't put things into words for yourself, and then you see it written and you're like, oh, that's exactly how I think about it. So yeah, I'm reading that, and I'm also reading this. They give these out. These are free everywhere. Like my friend Zia says, these are free everywhere. This is a brief illustrated guide to understanding Islam, and it has been very interesting, especially with it talking about the beginning of the fetus and how it's created and what it's created, and it's almost like a leech in the beginning, and the human embryo, like it's just talking about the creation, the scientific way of creation. I haven't gotten far in it, but I plan on reading it because it'll probably add to it will not probably it will add to my wisdom box, and I can have certain dialogue and ask certain questions when I come upon certain people who are way more deep into a particular subject than I myself may not be, because I'm just beginning. So that's why you read, that's why you show yourself approved, so that when you get into conversation with someone, you can actually flow. If you don't read and then you get around people, you're not social, because you don't have anything to talk about, because you don't look at the news, you don't read, you don't have anything of interest that you can really go with the flow with, maybe one or two topics or something like that. But that's why it's good to be well-rounded. And I get what Ball State means now. They wanted us to be well-rounded. They had us take all these different classes that, to me, in the beginning of your first 2 years, just was like, why? Let me just jump into my major so I'll be fantastic at it. But shout outs. I get it why, but I still feel like even in that first 2 years of college, you should still be like in your field, you know, so that you can be perfected by year 4, you know, versus starting the third year into your major, like tangibly. The first 2 years you're doing like academic stuff. No, you should be doing your whole major in the beginning. But I guess people change their ideas of what they want over time, so it's giving a person the time to figure out what they really want. But yeah, those are the 2 books I'm reading right now. Well, I was reading 3. Yogi, which that book, the autobiography of Yogi, was pretty good. I only got to like page 60, but it's just talking about his life and his discovery of life in itself and the inevitable, and him being really intuitive to what is to come or what was to come, and his mom even knowing that he had this gift, and he was in search for God, you know, just like I am, and just like many of us are. Our meaning of salvation for ourselves, and all the beautiful people we get to meet along the way, and not take for granted the moment that we're in when we're meeting them, because it'll only be that one moment, whether good or bad. You know, definitely always want good. But living in that moment. Okay, this is your girl Egyptian. Good night. I'm taking a nap, y'all. Bye.